torque equation of induction motor. Okay, here you know well, so torque is equal to power is equal to torque into omega. So based on that relation, torque is equal to, so power is equal to torque into omega. Okay, so power is equal to torque into omega. So omega is equal to 2 pi n divided by 60 for okay, 2 pi n divided by 60. So in RPS, radians per second. So torque is equal to rotor input is nothing but power. Okay, torque is equal to power divided by 2 pi ns. So here ns is called in RPS, revolutions per second. So by 60 is a revolution per minute, 2 pi n by 60. So this is for RPS, this is for RPM, revolutions per minute. Okay, by 60, so we'll get 60 into rotor input by 2 pi ns. You know, well, rotor input is called stator output. Am I right or not? Okay. So, you know, well, yesterday, so one relation is derived. So, okay, that is called air gap power. That is called stator output. That is called air gap power east, and the rotor copper loss PR star. Mechanical power developed. That is equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. This is the relations. So derived yesterday. So rotor input is nothing but this is the air gap power. Stator output or rotor input both are same. So rotor input per rotor copper loss. So PG divided by PR, that is equal to 1 by S. Am I right? Then rotor input, so PG is equal to, so the rotor input, rotor copper loss. So that is called rotor input is nothing but air gap power, that is called PR divided by S. Am I right? This expression both are same. Rotor input is nothing but air gap power. Am I right? Air gap power is equal to rotor copper loss by slip. You know, well, rotor copper loss is equal to 3I2 square into R2 by slip. So we'll get this relations like this. Am I right or not? Okay. And then current I2 dash, this is called rotor current under running condition. The rotor current I2 dash is equal to, so V by Z. Am I right? So rotor current, rotor voltage by rotor impedance. So S and E2 is called voltage across the rotor. So some amount of induced voltage in the rotor is called S into it, slip times of E2. Okay, divided by Z is nothing but R2 square plus S into X2 square. Okay, so in terms of primary side, so S into K into E1. Now, well, E2 by E1 is equal to K. K is equal to E2 by E1. Okay, then E2 is equal to K times of E1 by under of R2 square plus S times of X2 square. Okay, by using transformation ratio. Okay, then rotor input is equal to 3I2 square into rotor input is equal to 3I2 square into R2 by S. Substitute this I2 in this equation. Okay, substitute this I2 dash in this equation. You will get this type of relation. Rotor input is equal to 3 into S square into E2 square R2 divided by R2 square plus S times of X2 square. So 1 by S. Substitute this I2 dash. So in this equation. So we'll get like this. 3 into S into E2 square into R2 by R2 square plus S into X2 square. Okay, putting the value of I2 dash in equation 1. So we'll get like this. This is called rotor input equation. Okay. And torque is equal to rotor input by 2 pi ns. You know well, torque is equal to rotor input by 2 pi ns. So rotor input that is called power. Substitute here. And we will get 3 divided by 2 pi ns into S into E2 square divided by R2 square plus S times of X2 square. Okay, this is the final derivation of the torque of a 3-phase induction motor. Okay. So this is the final expression in terms of E2 and in terms of E1. In terms of E2, so this is the expression. In terms of E1, so this is the expression. Okay, torque expression. So from this relation, so try to consider here torque is proportional to E2 square. Torque is proportional to E1 square. So that means torque is proportional to the supply voltage square, V square. Okay, torque is proportional to so V square. Okay, so torque is proportional to V square. So, torque of the induction motor is proportional to V square. This is the one of the important concept. This based on this concept, one control speed control mechanism is there. Okay, that means the torque of the induction motor is proportional to the speed of the the voltage scale. Okay, by controlling the voltage, the torque can be controlled. Understood? By controlling the voltage of the induction motor, this torque can be controlled and speed can be controlled by using. That is called voltage controlled method in a three-phase induction motor. Okay. So this for torque derivation of three-phase induction motor. Starting of three-phase induction motor. So try to consider here starting of three-phase induction motor. So the induction motor is fundamentally a transformer. You know well, this induction motor is called as a rotating transformer. Okay. Induction motor is called rotating transformer. Induction motor is fundamentally a transformer in which the stator is primary and the rotor is short circuited secondary. Okay. At starting, the voltage induced in the induction motor rotor is maximum at starting. Slip is equal to maximum. Am I right? Since the rotor impedance is low, you know well, at starting condition, what is the speed of the rotor? 0. No? At the starting condition, at starting, what is the speed of the rotor? 0. Am I right or not? At starting condition, first at starting condition, so rotor speed is equal to 0. Okay, then slip is equal to ns minus nr by ns. Then rotor speed is 0 means slip is equal to 1 by substituting nr is equal to 0. Okay, a starting condition, so slip is equal to 1. Okay, so what is the load resistance of the induction motor? RL is equal to what is the load resistance of induction motor? R2 is equal to RL is equal to R2 into 1 by S minus 1. Am I right or not? This is the load resistance of the induction motor. Am I right? Substitute S is equal to 1 here. S is equal to 1 here. By substituting S is equal to 1. So what is the RL here? 0. So 0 means resistance 0 means open circuit or short circuit? Short circuit. So that's why at starting, the impedance offered by the induction motor is very less. Understood? At starting, the voltage induced in the induction motor is maximum. So that is S is equal to 1. You know well, the voltage induced in the induction motor rotor. So that's E2R. So that is called voltage induced in the rotor of induction motor is nothing but slip stems of okay. So E2 dash, let us E2 dash is equal to slip stems of E2. You know well. So induced in the rotor. So slip is equal to 1 means so induced in the rotor, voltage induced in the rotor E2R. Let us assume V2R is equal to E2. Am I right or not? So that's why this maximum voltage induced in the at time of starting. Okay. So maximum, since the rotor impedance is low, so rotor impedance is at the time of starting. So what is the impedance here? RL load resistance 0. That's why short circuit road impedance offered by the rotor is very low. Since the rotor impedance is low, when the rotor impedance is low, the rotor current is excessively large. Am I right or not? The rotor current is nothing but I2. The rotor current, when the load impedance, when impedance is low, impedance offered by the induction motor is low at the time of starting, then current I2, okay, is increases at the time of starting. Understood? So when since the rotor impedance is low, the rotor current excessively large. Rotor current excessively large means this large rotor current reflected in the stator because of transformer action. Same as transformer, well, this current, primary current is proportional to the secondary current. I1 is proportional to I2, na? Same as transformer. Okay. So this is called secondary current of the induction motor. Secondary current drawn from the supply is more. Secondary current is increases means the primary current is also increases. Understood? Since the rotor impedance low, the rotor current is excessively large. This large rotor current reflected in the stator because of transformer action. Okay, that means the current in the stator winding of a induction motor is increases because of the rotor current is increases. Okay, because of secondary winding is short circuited. Okay, this result in I starting current that is equal to 4 to 10 times of the full load current. Okay, this result in starting current is increases too. Starting current will become, so starting current is approximately 4 to 10 times of the full load current, 4 to 10 times of full load current. This much of current is done at the time of starting of three-phase induction. Okay. In this stator, at low power factor and consequently the value of starting torque is low. Starting torque is less, but starting current is more. Current drawn from the supply is more, but torque is less because of the short duration. So this is for only short duration within 1 minute, minute, milliseconds, seconds only, within the seconds. Okay, because the short duration, only seconds. This value of large current does not harm the motor. So this much of full load current appear in the stator winding some very less time, only seconds or milliseconds. Okay, so does not harm the motor if the motor accelerates normally. Okay. So, however, this large starting current will produce a large line voltage drop. Okay, the starting current is 4 to 10 times of the full load current. So that's why this large current will produce a large line voltage drop. This will adversely affect the operation of the other electrical equipments connected to the CM line. Okay. Other electrical equipments are means, for example, in your home, fans are there, TVs, refrigerators. Okay. Another equipments are there. So there may be a disturbance in another devices. If you are starting your three-phase induction motor, so like this manner. So directly if you are connected in three-phase induction motor to the your, okay, if you have started a three-phase induction motor by switching on directly, okay, in that case it draws more amount of current. In that case, other equipments may be disturbance. Okay, this will adversely affect the operation of other electrical equipments connected to the same line. Okay, so if you are observed or not, when induction motor or other machines are large machines are turned on in your room, there may be a sudden dip in tubelets, sudden dim. Okay, that the brightness of the tube light is blinking. Okay, the tube light is blinking when the sudden other equipments are switched on. Very large load is switched on. At that case, the tube lights or fans are some blink in the tube lights to observe. So that is because of this. Okay, because of this draws very large current. Okay, so this large current will produce a large voltage drop in the induction. Okay, therefore it is desirable and necessary to reduce the magnitude of the stator current at starting and okay, and several methods are available for this purpose to reduce the starting current. So these are the different types of methods are there. First one, methods of starting of three-phase induction motor. So methods of starting of three-phase induction motor. First one, direct online starting. Direct online starting. Okay. Second one, stator resistance starting. Third one, auto transformer starting. Fourth one, star delta starting. And fifth, rotor resistance starting. So these are the different types of methods to start the induction motor. That is means by using these methods, the starting current can be reduced. The starting current is equal to 4 to 10 times of the full load current. So this much of current can be reduced by using this type of methods. Understood? Okay. Because of this starting current very large, because of high starting current, the large starting current will produce a line voltage drop, and this will adversely affect the operation of other electrical equipments connected to the same line. So this is the disturbance. Okay, that's why. So what you have to do? So starting methods are compulsory required to control the starting current of three-phase induction motor. Understood? To control the three-phase current of starting current of three-phase induction motor, that is called starting current 4 to 10 times of the full load current. This can be controlled by using three-phase induction. These methods. Okay, direct online starting, starter resistance starting, auto transformer starting, star delta starting, and rotor resistance starting. Okay, so we have to discuss one by one. First, direct online starting. Direct online starting. So in this method of starting in just what the name implies, the motor is started by connecting it directly three-phase supply. Okay, direct online starting. So without any equipment, sir, directly this motor terminals are connected to the supply terminals. Three-phase RYB, three terminals are directly connected to the our connection, our supply input supply. Okay, directly connected to the socket box. Three terminals are then RYB terminals. So directly by connecting these three terminals is called direct online starting. This method of starting is just a name implies the motor is started by connecting it directly to three-phase supply. Okay. The impedance of the motor standstill is relatively slow. I'm already explained. At standstill, slip is equal to 1, and then low resistance RL is equal to 0. That's called short circuited. Okay, low resistance is less means impedance offered by the motor is very, very less. And when it is directly connected to the supply system, the starting current will be high in the range of 4 to 10 times of the full load current and low power factor. Okay, the induction motor power factor is very, very less. Okay, consequently, this method of starting is suitable for relatively small up to 7.5 kilowatts machines. Okay, this direct online starting is not recommended for large machines. Only for small machines it is suitable. Okay. So relation between the starting and full load torques. So we have to find the relation between starting torque to the full load torque, starting and full load torque. Okay. So you know well, rotor input is nothing but power. Rotor input power. Rotor input power is equal to 2 pi ns into torque. Okay. Rotor input power is nothing but you know well, power is equal to torque into omega. Okay. And then rotor input, this called power, input power, rotor input power. So torque is equal to, so omega is nothing but 2 pi hundred by 60, 2 pi hundred by 60 into T. So this is called a constant K. Okay. Into T. Power is equal to K into T. Okay. And the input power is nothing but so, and I know well, rotor copper loss is equal to slip times of rotor input. Okay, I'm already explained how this rotor copper loss is equal to PR is equal to S times of PG, rotor input. Okay, you know well, PR, rotor copper loss. Okay, so from this relation now, so air gap is to rotor ohmic loss is to mechanical power developed is equal to 1 is to S is to 1 minus S. From this relation, rotor copper loss PR is equal to, okay, S times of rotor input. That is called air gap power. Right. So then rotor copper loss is nothing but 3I2 square into R2. So for three phase machine, so I multiplied by 3 for three phase. 3 into I2 square into R2 to S into the rotor input is nothing but K into T. Substitute. And then torque is proportional to the I2 square divided by S. 3 is a proportional constant. 3 is constant and K is constant. And R2 is also constant, or rotor resistance also constant. Then torque is proportional to the I2 square divided by slip. Okay. So this is for rotor. You know, well, I2 dash is equal to I1, same as transformer. Primary current is proportional to the secondary current, or secondary current is proportional to the primary current. Okay. So the substitute I2 is equal to I1, you will get torque is equal to I1 square by S. Okay. If IST is called starting torque, if IST is the starting torque current, then starting torque is called IST square. You know, well, at the time of starting, what is the slip? 1. Because of rotor speed is equal to 0, NR is equal to 0. NS minus NR by NS. NR is equal to 0. That by NS by NS, only 1. Slip is 1. At the time of starting, that starting current is IST is called starting current, and S is equal to 1. And then starting torque is equal to proportional to the IST square, starting torque square. Similarly, if IF is called full load current, and then SF is called full load slip. Okay. So at full load, slip not equal to 1 and slip not equal to 0. Okay. But is very, very less. Slip is very less, 1 to 2%. 1% or 2%. Okay. Slip is very less. It's not equal to 0 at full load. Okay. Then it is denoted by SF. And full load current is denoted by IF. And then, so this is the torque relation. Then full load torque TF is proportional to the IF square by SF. And then divide these two. So this relation and this relation. This is called starting torque. This is called full load torque. And then starting torque by full load torque is equal to starting torque by full load torque is equal to IST by IFL whole square into SF. So this is the relation. Understood? Starting torque to the full load torque of a 3-phase induction motor. IST divided by IFL full load, IF whole square into SF. Full load slip. It's clear. So this is the relation between the starting torque to the full load torque, and also in terms of starting current and full load current with respect to slip. It's clear. So this we are getting the relation. And then direct online starting. When motor is started direct online, the starting current is the short circuit block rotor current ISC. Am I right or not? Short circuited current. Why short circuited current means? You know, well, the load resistance at the time of starting, the starting, it is starting. You know, well, at starting, rotor speed is equal to 0 and slip is equal to 1. You know, well, NS minus NR by NS. So NR is equal to 0 means slip is equal to 1. Am I right? It's clear. So slip is equal to 1. And then what is the load resistance? RL is equal to of induction motor R2 into 1 by S. I'm already explained this concept. And then substitute S is equal to 1. RL is equal to 0. This is called a short circuited rotor. Okay, that is called block rotor. Secondary side of our short circuit. When the motor is started a direct online, the starting current is nothing but short circuit current, that is called ISC. Then starting current is equal to the starting current of induction motor. Okay, IST is equal to ISC. That is called starting current. IST is equal to ISC. This is called short circuit current. Okay, so that's why starting torque by full load torque is equal to ISC divided by F. So substitute IST is equal to ISC in this relation. We will get ISC divided by F whole square into SF. It's clear. So this is for the relation of direct online starting. Let us illustrate the above relation with a numerical example. IC is equal to 5 times of IF, for example, and slip is equal to 0.04. Substitute here and they will get starting torque is equal to full load torque. By substituting this, so here starting torque is equal to full load torque, but starting current is 5 times of full load current. This is for direct online starting. Starting current is high, but starting torque is same as full load torque. Okay. So note that the starting current is large, 5 times of the full load current, but the starting torque is just equal to the full load torque. Therefore, starting current is very high and starting torque is comparatively low. If this large starting current flows for a long time, it may overheat the motor and it may damage the insulation. Okay. So that's why the direct online starting is not recommended for large machines, only small machines. Okay, it is recommended for only small machines. This is clear. So this is about direct online starting. Okay. So direct online starting is so next stator resistance starting. Stator resistance starting methods. Direct online starting so directly connected into the power supply and then it draws the current IC is equal to 5 times of full load current. Very high current is draws from the supply. Okay, understood. And then